there developed from that a major dispute on the tramway company against scabbing, where workers were brought in to scab, where some kept the trams going and others didn't. And it led to very, very serious scenes of confrontation, physical confrontation between people, militants loyal to the union, and scabs, and the police in particular. The police actually beat to death a young man on the quays on Eden Quay one of the days, and in all 4 people were killed during that strike. But the police beat to death a young man the day before Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday happened as a consequence of Larkin promising to speak to O'Connell Street, to the great unwashed, to the people of Dublin in the middle of August and in 1913. And the DMP had arrested him and put him away, but he got out on bail. And they were aware that he had promised he'd come to O'Connell Street. He was given an order by the sheriff not to appear. He tore it up and said he would appear, and then famously appeared incognito on O'Connell Street as an old cleric, dressed up, walked into what's now Cleary's, was the Imperial Hotel, belonging to William Martin Murphy at the time, and addressed the crowd from the balcony. It was really in your face stuff to Murphy. And actually, they did really hate each other. You know, there was constant bantering between the two of them. And I'll just read a bit of what Murphy has to say about Larkin, gives you an idea of the viciousness of him. He says, I've never set eyes on him, and I'm told he's a big man wearing a slouch hat and a swaggering style, throwing downstairs any smaller man than himself and giving the impression of great physical courage. The fellow had the impotence to endeavour to bring pressure on the composing staffs of independent newspaper. It was rather too much for these men to be apt to associate with the scum, the likes of Larkin and his followers. And they responded to each other through their media, because Larkin wrote for a paper called The Irish Worker, and of course William Martin Murphy, not unlike Berlusconi or Murdoch nowadays, owned the print media practically in Ireland. He certainly owned the Independent and the Herald and all the rest of it. And he declared in his paper, Larkin will meet his Waterloo, and in the Irish Worker, Larkin declared Murphy will reach St Helena. They constantly, if you like, shaped up to each other all the time on this basis. But when Larkin appeared on the balcony, there was murder broke out in the streets of Dublin. The police laid into the hundreds of people, beating them very, very viciously. But it ended up with 200 cops in hospital as well, which shows you that they did fight back. You always hear about the poor old people getting the heads